Hello, dear students. My name is Aliya Tabayeva. I'm a PhD and a senior lecturer in Public Health Department. Today I showed you my lectures. Topics is demography. We have a plan. Firstly, demography as a science, population states, mechanical movement of the population, fertility, population reproduction, mortality, infant mortality, and natural increases and conclusion. Firstly, we talk about the demography. Demography, this is a science of population, and we have a medical demography. It's a science that studies the influence of social medical factors on the process of mechanical and natural movement of the population and develops recommendations for improving the health of population. Demography studies population in two main areas. The firstly, study of population statistics, and the secondly, the study of population dynamics. Population statistics, this is the size and composition of the population in a certain area at some point. The composition of the population is studied on a number of grounds. For example, the gender, age, social groups, and professions, level of education, marital status, and etc. Population dynamics studies the change in population over a period of time. Includes two types of population movement. The firstly, the mechanical movement and the natural movement. Mechanical movement occurs under the influence of migration process. Natural movement occurs as a result of natural biological process, for example, the fertilities and the mortalities. Kelesi slide. Indicator characterizing population statistics are used in the following cases. The firstly is a calculated vital statistics for planning the entire healthcare system, for calculating the needed for laboratory, polyclinics, and inpatient care. To determine the required amount of funds allocated from the budget for healthcare system, to calculate indicators characterizing the activities of healthcare institutions, and to organize anti-epidemics work. For example, mechanical movement of the population. This is a migration, yes? Migration is a movement of people associated as a rule with a change of residence. We have four types of migration. The firstly, irrevocable migration. This is a permanent change of permanent place of residence. The secondly, temporary migration. Temporary migration, this is a resettlement for sufficiently long but limited period. And the seasonal migration. This is a moving at certain times of the year, usually in the summer. And the pendulum migration, regular trips to the place of the work or study from another locality. Migration also happens external and internal. External, this is a migration outside of one's own country. It includes immigration and immigrations. Internal, inter-district movements from the village to the city, etc. Significance of migration process. We have a significance of migration process. The firstly, this is urbanization is changing the environment. The structure of morbidity and mortality of the population is changing. And the process of urbanization requires revisions of the standards of medical care and the change in the network of medical institutions. The process of urbanization leads to an increase in extramarital births. What about the pendulum migration? Pendulum migration contributes to the spread of infection disease, leads to an increase in stressful situation injuries. Seasonal migration leads to an uneven seasonal load on medical institution and affects the health of the population. The health indicator of migrants differ significantly from those of the populations. What about the fertility and reproduction of the population? Fertility is a social biological category based on biological factors. That is the ability of an organism to reproduce offspring. But to a large extent, the birth rate is also due to socio-economical reasons. Dear students, attention, please write in these formulas in your copybook, because in these formulas you need it in practical classes. Birth rate assessment. We have the total fertility rate in ppm and the birth rate estimate. Very low, short, below average, average, above average, high, very tall. Also write please in your copybook, because we are need in practical classes. You use decided the situational task. Special indicators, a measure of overall fertility and the age-specific fertility rates. This is a level of groups. SRL on internal interval of 5 years is taken. Factors affecting fertility. We have 3 groups: level of education, culture of population. The higher the level of education of a woman, the less children she has, and the national customs and traditions, religious attitudes, social psychological factors. Population reproduction indicators. The total fertility rate is the number of children that one woman would give birth to during her life, while maintaining the exciting level of age-specific fertility. And the main part of demography, this is the mortality of population. The interactions between the process of fertility and mortality is provided by the process of reproduction of the population. The general characteristics of mortality is given by the coefficient of general mortality. This is the number of days per year per 1,000 populations. This coefficient depends on the age composition of the population. Dear students, we have all formulas right in your copybook. The mortality rate is due to a complex interaction of factors, among which the dominant place is occupied by a socio-economical condition, the level of well-being, education, nutrition, housing condition, environmental factors. And here is a days rate estimate, crude days rate in ppm, and the mortality rate estimate also. Maternal mortality, as defined by World Health Organization, is the days of a woman due to pregnancy regardless of its duration and occurring during pregnancy or within 42 days after termination from any causes associated with pregnancy. The child has highest the risk of in the first hours, days and weeks of life. The lowest mortality rate is observed in the population aged 5-20 years. After 20 years, there is a gradual increase in the indicator. The highest mortality is observed at the age of 60 years and above. Mortality rates are higher in men than in women and in rural areas compared to urban areas. The dynamics of mortality for certain reasons: an increase in mortality from accident, poisoning, and injuries from disease of the respiratory system, and tuberculosis, anomalies, neoplasms, infection disease such as diphtheria, dysentery, and measles matter. The increase in mortality by 2 or 3 is due to the increase in mortality among people of working age. 29% of all deaths are people of working age. The main causes deaths among people of working age is accident, poisoning, and injuries. And in men, they are the cause of deaths of every second deceased. In women, every 3 died. In working age, the mortality of men is 4 times higher than the mortality of women. For all reasons, men die more often. From respiratory disease, 6 times more than. from accident, poisoning and endurance 5 times more often, and from cardiovascular disease 4 times more often. Infant mortality. This is a important part, infant mortality, because this is a number of children who die before 1 year. Write in these formulas, please. And factors affecting infant mortality, this is the gender of the child. Boys die more often than girls. Infant mortality is higher in premature babies. Age. The lowest infant mortality rate is in children born to mother's age 20, 30. The greatest mortality of children observed in firstborn and after 6, 7 children, the highest for child. Socio-ethnic factors in countries with high birth rate, high infant mortality, and health. This is an observation, abortion. Here we have antenatal mortality, perinatal mortality, and stillbirth. This is formulas right in your paper, copybook. Antenatal mortality, this is a number of stillbirths per year or number of days before delivery after 22 weeks of pregnancy. Multiply 1000 and divide the total number of live births and stillbirths. Perinatal mortality, this is a number of stillborns plus number of days in the first 168 hours of life and multiply 1000 total number of live births and stillbirths. Stillbirths is a diet born within a year. Multiply 1000 and divide the born alive and died. Here is included neonatal mortality, post-neonatal mortality, also right in your copybook. Structure of causes of infant mortality. This is a disease of the perinatal period: hypoxia, asphyxia, birth trauma, and infection. Congenital development anomalies and respiratory disease, infection disease. Natural population growth. This is a also important part in demography, medical demography, can be calculated as the difference between birth and death rate. Coefficient of natural growth, general coefficient birth, total death rate. Groups of countries differing in natural increase. Countries with a high natural increase and low mortality, for example, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. And high population growth and high mortality, this is Guinea, Ethiopia, Sierra Leone. And low growth with high mortality, this is Denmark, Austria, etc. This indicates a low birth rate. Factors causing exacerbation of demographic process. Continuation in our country of the global process of transition to a small family. Unfavorable change in the age composition of the population, the demographic echo of the war, a decrease in the number of women aged 20, 30, the crisis of the socio-economical sphere, a sharp drop in living standards, uncertainty about the future. This causes a decrease in the number of births of second, third, and subsequent children in the family. Average life expectancy. This is a hypothetical number of the year that a given generation of those born will have to live, provided that throughout their life, mortality in each age group will be the same as in a given year. The indicator is calculated according to the so-called survival tables. In order to build such tables, you need to know the age composition of the population also, and the sex composition, and the number of days for each group. This indicator characterizes the viability of the population as a whole and does not depend on the age composition of the population. In conclusion, It's our conclusion is that demography plays a key role in understanding the process of population reproduction, studying birth rate, mortality, marriage patterns, migration, and the other factors affecting the size and structure of the population. Knowledge of demographic patterns enables the government to develop effective social, economical, and healthcare policies. Analyzing demographic trends helps forecast societal development, determine the needs for labor resource, education, healthcare, and social protection. Thus, demography is not just the science of population size, but an important tool for sustainable development and improving the quality of life of the country population. Thank you so much for your attention.